Oh, there's an announcement.
Yeah, from me. Just getting people to tag you. That's the way I join, you know.
What's that? It's GT4s tonight, not touring cars.
I knew that.
Oopsie daisy.
The error has been great.
Thank you very much. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We are back here tonight for the GT4 Championship here on Project Cars 2 for our usual races 16, 17 and 18 of this 45 race season. And we are at Snetterton, as you probably can tell, on the shorter configuration, a 200 layout tonight. And as usual, I'm joined in the commentary box by my good friend, emo guy, Iain Prentice. Welcome along. How are we doing, mate?
We're wise, we're not good friends, we hate each other,
Oh, hold on, mate. Your mic's crackling a little bit.
Not better?
No. No.
Back in 2 seconds.
Okay. So Ian's just going to jump out and jump back in, and hopefully the issues with the transmission will be sorted out. I did tell him before we started to do a 1040, which for those of you who aren't aware means radio silence. However, I didn't mean for the radio to be compromised in such a way, so fingers crossed we can get that sorted out. But it's Mike who takes the fastest time in the practice by 0.04 of a second ahead of John Boy. I know those two well ahead of everybody else. Cobb and the Mutsnuts in third and fourth, but looking like Mike wants to reverse that trend from last week, where John Boy took a very dominant win in the endurance round here for the GT4 Championship. Absolutely ran away with it at Rapuna Park last week. So Mike there definitely fighting back stronger this time out, as we're going to continue into the first race of the night. Got Cameron in the comments there, says hello. We've also got Emma, says have a great night, guys. Emma, other half of Aussie Albi. We'll be starting, I think, towards the back, based on the fact that I think he's high up in the championship. I think he's fourth in the championship, so he should be starting. Not missing any action, but Emo guys sent me a message. Emo with his quality connection there, says PN Motorsport. Yep, definitely so. So it would appear that Ian needs another invite. I would imagine. I imagine that's why he's messaging me while we're streaming. Can't imagine another reason. So I'll just get him an invite now. Yeah, because he created this party, so therefore He can't join it unless I send him an invite. But fear not, because it is coming in a second. Even though for some reason he just doesn't show up on my player's map, which is quite painful. But there we go. Invite sent. Apologies for that blue screen, that rather obnoxious cut-off that you would have just seen there. On the PS5, the PS5 has evolved to the point where you don't have a blue screen obstructing your view on streams whenever you go into the menu, but on the PS4 they haven't really sussed that out. Well, obviously it was quite a long time ago now that the PS4 came out. At that time they hadn't factored in that viewers generally don't like to see a big blue screen obstructing their view when watching a race or watching any sort of gameplay content on YouTube or Twitch. But nonetheless, we've got you. We'll go back in the comments or back in the commentary box again. Ian, let's do a quick radio check.
Hello.
Ah, that sounds beautiful. We also want to be turning that music off in the background because we don't want to be losing out on our 3 pence that we'll get for royalties tonight. If we manage to hit the 100 view mark. So let's just make sure that we're not compromising our sponsors in any way. But we've got to say, Ian, the million dollar question here tonight for this first race. Who do we reckon is going to take the win?
Well, the screen's kind of fuzzy at the minute, but I'm gonna give Smoky Devil a shot here tonight because from when I've raced with him playing at times, he's always went well around this track.
I'm going to go Nick the Villa because he generally does very well from pole position, and he'll be, I'm sure, out there with a vengeance here tonight. He's not had the best starts of the season in the GT4s, but we know he's got pace. Last week, obviously, he wasn't here for a Puna, so he'll be out there with a point to prove. But we're green. We're racing down towards turn 1 for the first time. It's Nick the Villa leading, as we can see. Park Pooper's already got ahead of Smoky Devil into turn 1. You've got Doris there to pot the brown, followed by John Boy, Cobb, Mike, Aussie, and the Mutt Nuts are side by side here coming down towards turn 2, and the Mutt Nuts there has got that move done there up into 9th. So Aussie's lost a couple of places here at the start, but it's Nick leading as Park Hooper's got Smokey trying to attack on him here. Smokey getting a bit wide there, and Doris Steer's going to get a heck of a run down the Bentley straight as John Boy there's trying to keep Pot the Brown behind him. You've got Cobb there who's got the Mutt Nuts, and the Mutt Nuts has got ahead of Mike up into 8th place, so Mike's made a mistake there. Mutt Nuts up into P8. But Nick the Villa leading at the end of the Bentley straight. As you can see, there's a cluster of cars here. Somebody's gone wide there. Pop Hooper goes straight on over the chicane at Brundle and Nelson onto the grass. Smoky Devil's there, still there on the inside of Thorist, who's moved ahead of him. And Smoky Devil's lost a couple of... Moving up into 3rd and 4th places. Smoky Devil down to 5th. And Pop is somehow holding on to 2nd. But we can see there Mike going wide. Mike's onto the grass there. He's absolutely off-roaded it like a madman there. And he's lost a load of places down to P10. As Pop has also made a mistake. He's dropped down to 4th place behind Doris Steer and John Boy. John Boy in the podium places after the first lap. Incredible.
Wow, that's very hectic racing there in the first lap. As well, these tracks always lend themselves to some crazy moves, some crazy action. Especially at the beginning, so it's not really surprising what we're seeing here tonight. Yeah,
definitely so. Always we can see Doris there making a late defence to the inside there going into turn 2. John Boy couldn't make it happen. In the background here we've got a big battle going on right now as it looks as though we got it's the Mutt Nuts there getting pushed out a little bit, is it? No. That was Park Pooper actually. Park Pooper's dropped down a few places, down to 9th. So he's gone from 2nd to 9th in the space of a lap. Park Pooper's race has been turned absolutely on its head here. But a load of cars packed into a short space. Look at Mike in the BMW, absolutely flying down the Bentley straight. Has he outbraked himself? Getting to Brundle. He's a bit wide, a bit deep. Oh, he tags the rear of the Mutt Nuts and that is on Mike, unfortunately there. Mike there just went a little bit too aggressive. The Mutt Nuts is going to be absolutely fuming with that one. If I had to apportion blame there, I'd say that one's fully on Mike.
Yeah, I would have to say so as well. He kind of did outbreak himself. He went in with way too much energy going into that corner to slow down, and it's just resulted in them taking out their driver, unfortunately.
What a shame there, but the pack is all still very close. Only 7 seconds covering all the drivers at the moment as Mike there very wide out of the final corner onto the grass. Park Pooper didn't get a great run and onto the start-finish straight, and that's given Pop the Brown P8 for the time being. Mutt Nuts has binned it into the wall. So Mutt Nuts, I think he was coming into the pits, and it looks like his race is over.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate. Not something we'd like to see in any of our races, but it's racing, can't do much about it.
No, unfortunately, it's just one of those things. But Doris Steer leading the race. John Boy well within a second of him at the moment, and putting the pressure on him. You've got Cobb there running in the final podium place. Aussie there is in 4th ahead of Nick, who's dropped backwards since the start. So is Smokey. Mike, though, has not made the seamless progress that John Boy and Cobb have, but he's now looking to the inside of Smoky Devil here at the end of the straight, and into P6 he goes. But Mike's championship rivals, John Boy and Cobb, right up there, and putting pressure here, especially John Boy, who's trying to force Doris Deer into a bit of a mistake here as they come through the bomb hole. And through in towards Murray's we go. He's going to look to the inside as... Oh, Doris a bit wide. Very wide there. Didn't get a very confident run at all, did he, coming through that part? And now John Boy's going to have a look as John Boy weaving around in the slipstream there. Trying to... I don't know what he's doing there. I don't know what he's trying to do there, to be honest with you.
Maybe try and scrub off some dirt off his tyres, maybe. But as we know, project cars, it doesn't really have the same tyre model as what a lot of other modern day racers have. So I don't really think that the dirt on the tyres is really much of a thing anymore on this game. No,
it doesn't appear to be. You can see Cobb in the background is reeling these guys in there in third place. He can see his rivals for this race win as John Boy weaving around as he's looking to the inside towards the end of the Bentley straight. He's going to surely have a look into Brundle as they go underneath the circuit there. Here we go, John Boy for the lead of the race. Is this one going to be job done? He looks like he's done that one brilliantly there. Gets it turned in nicely for Nelson as well. John Boy hits the front here on lap 5. He has gone from near enough the back of the pack. I think 8th he was on the formation lap to the lead of the race. Now Cobb is going to try and attack on Doris Deer as well, but it's these three for the lead. And can Doris and Cobb keep tabs with John Boy, or is John Boy just going to wave bye-bye now for the rest of this first race?
Well, after the first lap where we saw a lot of people trying to attack on him, I have a feeling that these guys aren't going to be just tailing over and just allowing him to run away with it this time.
Definitely not. We can see Doris is keeping tabs with John Boy here, looking close in towards turn 1, but too far back at the moment. Goes a little bit deep there going through turn 1, ever so wide, but keeps it on the track. Doesn't go onto the grass there. Well, he's a little bit onto the grass, but by no means an excursion there for Doris Deer, and he's still ahead of Cobb at the moment. Cobb having a look as Doris goes really wide there going through turn 2. Cobb's surely going to fancy a run here coming down the Bentley straight because he definitely got a better exit coming out of that corner.
No, it's just a matter of who's got the better legs, who's got the lesser of the downforce between these two, and it definitely looks like it's Cobb. It's got the lesser downforce right now.
Yeah, he's going to have that one done easily going into Brundle. So Cobb there moving himself through up into second place. But whilst he's making that move on Doris Deer, John Boy's opened up a bit of a gap here. Over a second he's got now over those two. As we look at the rest of them going through Nelson at the moment. And currently there's the top 9 drivers who are still in the race. Oh, Part Pooper there getting it horribly wrong. Holding on to it just about, but living dangerously there. And he's struggling tonight in this one.
Yeah, he definitely does not seem to agree with this track at all. It's not exactly the hardest track in the world. The only real part I've ever had any issues with is probably down the back of the Bentley straight. To be honest,
that's the
only. Yeah, it's the only corner I've ever really had any issues with. So
same here, yeah. No, I was going to say exactly the same thing. I've always struggled finding a braking point for that. I've never figured out where the right place to brake is for that. I always end up braking a little bit early just to be cautious, and then if I'm going too slowly into the corner, I'll then kind of like let off the brake a little bit and just coast it. But I always brake early into that corner. I always just play it safe because I just never really know where the braking point is. If I try and attack the corner, I end up going deep and onto the grass. So I've just learned that whenever I take that corner on Project Cars 2, always let off the throttle. Coming into the braking zone as Nick the Villa there has bended into the barriers, going through that corner that we were just talking about there, Ian. Pot the Brown moves through up into P6, and Nick the Villa has had an absolute mare there. He's just completely misjudged his turning or his braking. I don't know what it was, but unfortunately for him, he's down to P7 in this race. As look at Cobb, he's all over the back of John Boy here for the lead of the race. These two have now gapped Doris Deer, who's dropped well and truly off at the back of the top 2. But Cobb here is really pulling it on John Boy at the moment. 0.7 of a second, he was quicker on that previous lap. Can Cobb force John Boy into a mistake here for this race lead? John Boy a bit wide onto the grass. That would have not helped him at all.
Nope, definitely not. It's right now it's all about main game. Try and make sure that you can keep the mentality to not let the car behind you to get in your head to force a mistake. It's just about keeping your lines. Don't do anything over aggressive. Don't do anything that you would do when you're not battling anyone. Just try and keep the car behind without compromising yourself too much.
As that was a bit of a tense braking moment there going into Brundle. Looked like Cobb was looking up the inside but had nowhere to go. Had a tight line and just had to get early on the brakes and let John Boy carry on. But Ian, does this give you a bit of deja vu watching this? Obviously, We know there's two other guys who have had a very exciting close battle around this track. Not in these cars though, they were in the Renault Megans in the touring car division here at Motive. And who were those two? I can't quite remember.
One, I believe one of them was you, and I cannot for the life of me remember who else it was.
It was that dude called Emo_Guy97, I think it was. And he was driving a Monster Energy Renault Megane, if I remember correctly.
I genuinely do not remember.
As we can see, Mike looking down the inside of Doris Steer, coming through turn 1. Doris Steer trying to hold it around the outside. Mike's going to have the inside for turn 2, but Doris has managed to keep some momentum here. Mike's going to send one down the inside there, and he makes that one stick as well. Mike there up into 3rd place. Oh, as Doris has lost it on the exit. Ozzy's going to move up into 4th place. Doris in the tyre barriers there, and his race has gone from reasonably promising in the early stages to totally down the toilet. Pot the Brown and Nick Lavilla moving through up into 5th and 6th places. Doris here still hasn't got it. He's got it going now, but he's down in P7 as Nick Lavilla's putting pressure here on the back of Pot the Brown for P5 as well.
This race is just all over the place right now. I don't know. No matter where we look, there's always action. We're overwhelmed tonight.
Nick Lavilla was on 2 wheels there as he went through Nelson. Absolutely walloped that curb there. Looked like he was on a unicycle, but he's currently still on the back of Potter Brown here as they come through the bomb hole. John Boy's still ahead of Cobb as they're coming over the line to complete lap 9. 4 laps left to go here in this first race of the night. And Cobb's still looking to try and make something happen here as Ozzy's dropped off of Mike. There's now a couple of seconds between those two. Mike, though, has not got the pace that we saw in practice earlier on, and not really had the pace that I think we come to expect from him. Oh, he's wide there out of turn 1 onto the grass as well. That was dodgy territory there for Mike. His gap to Ozzy's come down ever so slightly as well. Nick Lavilla looking to the outside of Pot.
We're definitely seeing a lot of Code Browns here tonight.
I see what you did there. As Nick Lavilla trying to get past Code Brown himself here down the Bentley straight. You can see he's putting out the slipstream here as they go side by side, and Nick Lavilla's got slightly better straight line speed than that Ginetta than Potter Brown has in that KTM. It's basically a snail versus a slug, but Nick the Ginetta's got the legs and is going to get that one done, I think. Or Potter Brown, no, Potter Brown's going to hold it around the outside. Oh, bit of door banging there between him, and Potter Brown keeps onto that one by the skin of his teeth there. Nick Lavilla has to wait a little bit longer, and that was, yeah, elbows out, but good racing.
Yeah, that's exactly what we always love to see here at Motive Racing. We love to see close, tight action without any incidents. But obviously, there's always bound to be incidents. But when we have that kind of close racing, that's what we love to see. That's what we strive to have here. So as
absolutely, as we can see the 2 leaders coming into turn 2 here for the 11th time in this race. We've got just under 3 laps left to go here at Snetterton for this race 16 of the season, of this 45 race season, and Cobb's still within half a second of John Boy at the moment as they come towards Brundle once again, but he's managed to put him under some pressure at certain points, but hasn't really had a chance to go for a move. John Boy's not been making any mistakes. We know that he's hard to force into a mistake. Generally can be very consistent. The driver who I think is able to get into John Boy's head the most is Mike, generally speaking.
I would have to say so, because apart from obviously a few corners, that I would say that BMW probably has the better chance to be the strongest car on the track.
Yeah, it definitely has got that potential. But when Mike is up John Boy's gearbox, when Mike has the pace, which tonight it seems like he doesn't, but when he does have the pace, he's got that racecraft. It's not just his pace; it's his racecraft as well, which can get him race wins. But tonight, for whatever reason, Mike's pace is not there, so his racecraft, his race-winning racecraft, is currently not able to cut it for him because he's just not got the pace to keep up with the leaders at this point. I don't quite know what's going on with him, but John Boyd on that previous lap opened up a second of a gap over Cobb. He was a second quicker on that last lap, so John Boyd looking a bit more comfortable here to bring this one home. The rest of them are all pretty strung out at the moment. Doesn't seem like there's too many battles going on at this point, so it's now just over 1 lap left to go here in this race, and John Boy yet again seems to be on the verge of bringing one home. Or can Cobb try and force him into some kind of buckle here on this final lap as they come into the bomb hole? We're about to start the final lap of the race here for the first race of the night here at Snetterton. John Boy was a little bit wide there coming through the corner before Murray, so it just looked like he was taking a bit of a deep sort of entry, but decent gappy over Cobb, still over a second as they come over the line here to start the final lap. And John Boy just needs to keep this together. It's 1 minute 12.9 from John Boy. Cobb half a second quicker, a 1:12.4, but the previous lap before that, John Boy did a 1:12 dead. So Cobb hasn't got the pace that John Boy has in his locker. If John Boy really needs to pull it out, he probably can do so. He just needs to have a strong, consistent final lap of the race and ensure he doesn't make any mistakes here. As we look to Mike, who's 8 seconds off of the lead. You've got Ozzy running in fourth, just over 10 seconds off at the top two. Potter Brown still going in P5, he's a few seconds ahead. Doris Steer, who's in P6. Nick DeVilla in 7th. A few seconds clear of Park Pooper, who's in 8th place. And Smoky Devil, well, he's had a nightmare. There's no other word for it in this first race of the night.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that your race never goes to plan half the time. You just got to try and just try and do your best to try and do a little bit of damage limitation.
But here we go, we've got John Boy coming up towards the line. It's going to be a win in the first race of the night here for him. What a performance, and following up his dominant race win last week in the endurance round at Rapuna Park. Cobb comes over to take second place, a couple of seconds behind him in the end. It's going to be Mike over the line to complete the podium as there he goes. A few seconds clear of Ozzy Alby, who's going to bring it home in 4th place here in the end. He's not too far ahead of Potter Brown, who's coming out of the final corner now, and it's going to be a P5 here for Potter Brown as he comes up and over the line, and that is him done for this race. Doris Steer up towards the line, it's going to be a P6 here for him, and he is a few seconds clear of Nick DeVilla, who's going to finish this one in P7. So there he goes, Park Pooper up towards the line, 8th place for Park Pooper in the end. And Smoky Devil is going to come out of the final corner here, and it's going to be 9th place for Smoky in the end. Not the race that he would have wanted, I'm sure, but he stuck with it and will get himself some good points, so that's not the worst. But that is that then, guys, for this first race of the night. And it's John Boy who takes the win ahead of Cobb, with Mike completing the podium there in 3rd place. John Boy also bagging the fastest lap. Mike's pace, his true pace, not too far off of John Boy and Cobb. 1:12.1 his fastest lap, so he could have mixed it with them if it hadn't been for his difficult first few laps. Maybe his reluctance to close the gap was down to the fact that he knew it would be futile, and potentially we'll be seeing a rejuvenated Mike in this second race. But guys, I'll be back very shortly with the second stream of the night, so make sure that you check that out on Discord. That'll be going live in about 5 minutes time.